Hi, Mark here from newhometricks.com. Today I just want to take a quick look at our Sonos Play 1 speaker. That's now arrived. We've already got it set up. We didn't want to do an unboxing video because, well, Sonos has been around for quite a while and I'm sure there's plenty of unboxing videos on YouTube that you can take a look at. But what we will go through is the setup procedure, and that's coming up in just a moment. But first we'll take a look at the actual speaker itself, which we're going to put here under the TV for now. We might move it around somewhere else later on, but for now that's where we're going to put it. The Play 1, fairly compact unit, available in black or white, but quite weighty, feels quite well built. There's only really two buttons on the top that you need to think about. You've got a play pause button and of course a volume control, albeit most of the time you will of course be controlling your music playback through the app. On the rear there's a network socket here, just in case you need to plug it into the network for any reason rather than use wireless, but we're using wireless quite happily here. And there's also a little screw thread here. You can use that for mounting the speaker on maybe a stand of some kind, and you can just use that screw thread hole there to securely fasten it to the stand. We're going to position it here just under the TV, as mentioned. It's a single speaker that we have for now, but you can combine it with another Play 1 speaker to create a stereo pair, and you can also use it to participate in a home cinema setup. So you can have maybe the Sonos Play Bar or the new Play Bass that they've released, combine that with the Sonos subwoofer unit, and then use a couple of these Play 1 speakers as the rear speakers in a surround sound setup. And of course all of that is done completely wirelessly. But for now we've just got the single speaker. We'll go ahead and take a look at setup now, and hopefully you'll see how easy it is to use. Okay, so we're going to start setting up our Play 1 speaker inside the Sonos app here. So this is it running on Android. You just tap on Set Up New Sonos System, and then when you do that, it takes you to the welcome screen. When you press Next, you can choose what type of setup you're going to be carrying out. So that's either going to be wireless or wired through a boost system. This is straight through wireless. It's discovered our Play 1 speaker and now starts to connect. So pretty straightforward so far. It forms its own little wireless network with the speaker initially, and then we actually go through the process of setting it up on our Wi-Fi network. I'm going to skip over that because that's going to ask us for our Wi-Fi key, which I obviously don't want to put up on the screen here, but it just spends a few moments connecting. Once it's connected, it asks us to press a button on top of the speaker just to confirm that we've got the right one. Okay, so when you do that, it plays a little jingle and then does a little bit more connecting. The speaker itself plays the jingle, not inside the app. So just spends a few more moments connecting in the background here. Add your Play 1, and then you choose the room that you're setting your speaker up in, which could be your bedroom, hallway, kitchen. There's various different rooms predefined that you can choose from. We're going to be going ahead and setting this up in our living room. So you just tap on living room and then tap on Next, and this is when we can go through the process of updating and registering our Sonos speaker. Again, I'm going to skip over that because it'll want to have an email address. You can opt into product improvement. We'll opt out of that for now, and then it requires that you go through an update process. So we'll go through that now. It's always a good idea to apply these updates if there are any available. As we saw when we went through Philips Hue setup, these things can be useful to fix bugs, add new functionality, but perhaps most importantly, we want to protect against any security issues that might have been discovered in the product. So it's always good to apply these updates. But it doesn't take long to do, and once the process is complete, you're free to carry on with the rest of the setup process. So that's done now, Sonos Update complete. And now we can go ahead and start adding music services. Now, there's loads to choose from. Obviously, the more popular ones like Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, Apple Music, as well as a whole range of music services that you might not have even heard of before. Chances are, whatever music service you use, it'll probably be listed here. Sonos is a fairly popular system. So there's loads and loads that you can choose from. But today we're going to go ahead and set up Spotify, which is probably one of the more popular music streaming services that are out there. So you just tap on that and then tap Add to Sonos. Goes through a setup process. You can either sign up for Spotify if you don't already have an account, or tap on Connect to Spotify if you're an existing user. Now, we've already got the Spotify app installed on this particular phone, so we won't actually need to go ahead and go through the whole process of logging in. It'll already be there for us. But what we can do is sign up for a Sonos account. Again, I'm going to skip over a few steps here because it's going to want us to put a password in. But once you've signed up, as we've done here, you will then be able to control your Sonos speaker from directly within the Spotify app, which is a fairly recent addition to the Sonos system. But it's just going ahead and setting up the account now. Now it's going to show us a little animation to show that you can carry out that control from inside the Spotify app. Now, what this means is that you don't actually have to use the Sonos app to play Spotify music to your Sonos speakers. Previously, you used to have to do that, and that'll still be the case with many of the other music services that you might choose to use. You'll have to actually access them from within the Sonos app rather than the native app that you might have on your phone. But that's no longer the case for Spotify, so you can actually go ahead and use Spotify to play music directly to your Sonos speakers if you so choose, and that's what that little animation is highlighting for you here, how you actually do that. But if we finish that process and just skip over that now, it takes us back to the setup screen. We can come out of that, come out of the music services screen, and that will then take us into the main Sonos app with Spotify loaded, ready for us to start playing music. Okay, so that was the setup process. As you can see, there's a few steps that you need to go through and an update, which is fairly common these days with these kind of devices. But we've got through the setup process fairly easily there, and we're now able to start playing music from our various music sources and services through the Sonos speaker. We'll have a play around with it over the next few days and weeks and report back on how well we get on with it. But in the meantime, I think we'll leave it there. I might do another video shortly just showing a little bit more about the user interface. We've done the setup there, but it might be interesting to take a look at some of the other options that are available in the Sonos app and some of the other things that you can do with it, besides just playing music, of course. So we'll come back with that very soon. In the meantime, if you're interested to read a little more, I've written up a companion blog post article to go with that. So do have a look in the description for the link to that. Check out the website newhometricks.com, and in the meantime, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.